Hello, this is Hannah with Hannah Crafted Gifts, and I want to share with you today some slight alternatives to August 2023's paper pumpkin kit, which is Meaningful Flowers. I had to remind myself of when it was and what we were doing. Life has been a bit of a blur lately. So this kit I think is particularly beautiful. Lots of watercolor imagery, and I really like the cards as designed, and this shows those. But I did do, like I said, some slight alternatives. Usually when I like a kit a lot, I don't want to do much to change it up. It's usually the kits that aren't as much my style that I, am more inspired to be creative with because I have that challenge. But this kit, I just did a couple things a little differently. So I do have one more significant alternative, which is the one I taught in my paper pumpkin party that just ended, because I always teach at least one alternative at the parties that I do. But this first one I would say is just like a slight variation of the project as instructed. I wouldn't necessarily call it an alternative. But I did change things up a little bit on this card. So instead of centering the bouquet of forget-me-nots, I adjusted it slightly to, the right. And I made a little bit of a latch fold. So you can see the card stays closed. It opens up ever so slightly there at the bottom, but it keeps itself closed because the grass is tucked under and on top of that bouquet. And then I stamped directly onto the card base, which always makes me a little nervous because if you make a mistake, you don't get another card base. Like they give you extra labels and things like that you stamp on. But of course I could have covered it with a label if it didn't go well, and luckily it went well enough. And then I did wrap the linen thread or twine around the bouquet. I wrapped it around, as you can see, a couple times, so you have this bundle of thread. And that, pretty well, if I kind of pull it and push it, will hide behind the grasses so that it looks, to me at least, like the forget-me-nots are just, growing up out of the grass, but then you open it and you get that little surprise of the bouquet. So that was the first just slight adjustment I made to the card as instructed. My next card is almost exactly as instructed. Again, I wouldn't even call this a slight variation. This is just one of the cards basically as instructed, so you can see what that's like. I might have just placed my embellishments in slightly different places, but I love that you get this little pocket with the printed vellum, and you can, tuck your lily pad all the way down in there. You can kind of hook this lily pad on this little ripple in the water. So you can do it like that, like I had it originally, if I can get it back in there. There we go, like that. Or you can really kind of hook the whole lotus flower up on that. And then you get a little bit of your sentiment. So you can kind of read that it says you are capable. And then as you pull it out, you get of amazing things. So, depending on how you like it, we did it both ways in my party, and, different people liked it different ways. But I really love this card as designed, that, it has the interactive element, it has the printed vellum, it's a full card base. And my favorite thing about this kit are the flowers' meanings on the backs of the card bases. And again, you get this beautiful kind of watercolor wash ombre effect, which if you know me, you know, I love ombre, I love watercolor. So this kit was very much my style. All right, so then this is the one I would call an alternate, not a, a significant alternate, but definitely in the alternate category, changing things up enough, I think, to fit that description. So really simple card front, although I don't think it's too plain. I think it's just simple in a good way. And again, I really credit the artist, whoever designed this kit, to this beautiful watercolor background for that, because you can just put that on a card base. And if that was the whole card, I think it would be a lovely card. You can see I stamped, again, right on the base, the "You Rise Above the Rest." And I do have some embellishments on here. Again, they're hard to see because they're these clear enamel dots, but they kind of look like water droplets, so I really like those. Hopefully you can see all those on there. I was definitely doing my odd numbers and my triangle rule and things like that. But anyway, if that was the whole card, I feel like that could be a lovely card. Again, you get the meaning on the back, but this is more than what originally meets the eye, because when you open it up, it is an easel card. So it stands up like that. And because, of course, this is a pocket, it is also a gift card holder. So here's my little gift card placeholder to put in my gift card holder. And so that can slide down in there. I just have to, get it right, which is hard to do when I'm showing it for the camera. But once I get it, in there, it slides down in. And so you could have a gift card in there as well. And so, the key to that is, first of all, making sure that if you are putting something on top, which you actually have to, I'll tell you why in a minute, that you don't put adhesives too high so that it can remain a pocket. And of course, you're just using the adhesive like the kit instructs on the 2 sides and bottom of this vellum piece. And then you do have to have something here, whether it's your lotus flower like I did, or you could flip-flop. You could have this lotus flower here and have your sentiment on a banner down here up on dimensionals, but something has to be down here on dimensionals to catch this easel fold so that it stands up, so that it has something to rest on. And the other key to making this fold is just folding the card front in half. So if you have your card fully open, you just fold that top edge of your front flap down to meet your middle hinge score line that is already a part of the kit as it comes. And so you're just folding that card front perfectly in half, and then you're able to stand it up as an easel. So that was my alternative I shared at my party. A couple other things I did, just very, very simple. I got my kit last night and my party was today, so I didn't have a lot of time. But again, I feel like you didn't have to do much with this kit. It was so good as is. And I don't mean to say that the kits are never not good as is. They're just not always my style. You know, we all have different things that we like more than others. But the envelopes in this kit were way too pretty to me to just leave as envelopes and have, you know, this beautiful basically designer series paper as the inside of the envelope, which is a great little surprise, but I wanted to use it for more. So I deconstructed my envelopes, and this whole background is an envelope. This is my extra lotus flower, because since we did stamp on the lily pad, they gave us an extra lotus in case we made a mistake, just like they do with labels and things. So again, the "you are capable of amazing things" sentiment. Oh, and I meant to say real quick, speaking of sentiments, you know, I thought it's a little bit of a stretch, but the "you rise above the rest" kind of worked with like an easel card that like rises up. Anyway, I love a pun even if I have to stretch for it. Obviously the first one is not much of a stretch on the pun. I don't think I read it, but "your friendship is unforgettable with the forget-me-nots." Love that. Love a theme, and Stampin' Up, especially Paper Pumpkin, does themes so well. Sorry, I'm just trying to get that card back together. I'm bouncing all around here. All right, so back to the envelope cards. So this was my extra lotus, so I didn't have to steal anything from another card. I did obviously have to steal an envelope, but that's it. And I just put it on, you know, the basic white card base, keep it really simple. And of course I had lots of the envelope left over, so I also took a basic white envelope and added this other piece of the envelope paper and fussy cut out. This is the front of the envelope. Let me grab one of those to show you. So the envelopes not only have the beautiful design on the inside, but they have this great design on the outside. So there's that inside paper, but then there's that little piece on the front. So I fussy cut that out and add that, and now I can write my address here because it's ombre, it's light enough that I can do that. And so I have an envelope to coordinate with my envelope card. I also, of course, did one with the other card base, or I should say envelope. And so here I've got my forget-me-not fields. I did use the banner here for the "you rise above the rest." And again, I feel like, you know, the flowers rising up out of the meadow, it really works well. Both these cards still use the embellishments. Hopefully you can see those on there. These ones I have in the center of some of the flowers. And again, just basic white card base, and then the basic white envelope with the envelope paper and the fussy cut out flower from the front. That one was a little more challenging to fussy cut, lots of little stems and things, but because I'm gluing it flat because it is on an envelope, so I definitely don't want dimension to like catch. I mean, you couldn't be able to send that through the mail, but even to hand deliver, that could be a little delicate. So having the really delicate leaves and petals and things was fine because it's fully adhered flat. So yeah, so you've got a couple sets, I guess. Let me hold those together so you can see a couple sets of envelopes and envelope cards. So that's all I've done so far. More to come, perhaps, or, you know, eventually, whenever I can get to it. But thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate your support. If you like this video, you can click like, comment, and I'll try to reply. And the most helpful thing you can do is subscribe to this channel and share it with others who you think would be interested, so we can grow our creative community, because that's what I love. I love being creative with others in that community. So thank you as always, and happy crafting. Hello, this is Hannah with Hannah Crafted Gifts, and I wanted to share a few slight alternatives to, let's see, August 2023. I had to remind myself when and where we are. August 2023's Paper Pumpkin Kit, which was Meaningful Flowers. Let's start this again.